step, like how does somebody go from invisible and unheard to stepping into what you're calling success or action?
I love this question. A lot of women, especially women, and I'm not a man hater. I'm not someone who thinks that women's empowerment means we don't like men. We all need each other. And for many women in the society we live in, we will feel unseen, unheard, unloved, especially as we get older, because we are sometimes pushed to the background. We're pushed to the back of stores. We're pushed back to the women's section where we're supposed to dress appropriately in shapeless elastic pants and embroidered t-shirts. I mean, this is what is expected of us, or muumuus, or just everything shapeless, because we're not supposed to embrace this new body we have that comes as we age. And I'm not saying that we just automatically are unhealthy. That's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is we do change. We all change, men, women, and children. We all change. We go through puberty, that is a pause and a reset. Menopause is a pause and a reset. And with that pause and reset on both sides, puberty and menopause, we can feel ourselves wanting to contract back, because we want to take up less and less space, because if someone sees us, then we have to also see ourselves. And so to me, the number one way of stepping out of that I don't feel seen and I don't feel heard is to see and feel and hear and love ourselves. And when we can embrace who we are at every moment, that joy and that happiness and that power propels us forward. But it starts with accepting us. And I hear a lot of people say, just get out there and do it. And yes, a way to build confidence is doing what scares you. My grandmother used to tell me all the time, get out there and do one thing a day that scares the stuffing out of you. One thing. It can be anything. And I understand that concept and I agree with that concept. But that won't happen if we don't learn to love who we are. We don't have to subscribe that we are invisible. We don't have to subscribe to the fact or to a thought that we're not heard. If we want to be heard, we get to embrace what we want to say and get out there and say it. And we won't do that if we haven't poured into ourselves first and really gone through the work of getting rid of what's not serving us, letting go of toxic relationships, learning to forgive abusers in the past, learning to walk through grief and understand that it's okay to cry and it's okay to grieve, and that it is a process that we get to embrace. All of those things work together to start loving ourselves. And then we start hearing ourselves, and then we feel confident to step out and share our stories so that others can learn from us.
Beautiful.
Did that answer your question? I feel like
and I love how you said get to embrace.
Yeah, we get to.
Beautiful.
We get to embrace it. That term, those words, the way we talk to ourselves when we say, I have to do this, it's an immediate stress. It's an immediate stress response, and it's an immediate, I have to do this. But when we say I get to, it's a shoulder opening, stand up tall. I get to do this. I get to do this. Yeah. I'm not a stranger to loss in my life. And each time I go through grief, what I will say is I get to go through this. I get to embrace this journey. And someday I will get to help someone else when they step into this journey, because we all do. Nobody gets through life without a scar of some kind, or the grief of losing someone, either through death or divorce or the crumble of a friendship, losing a job, losing a house. Those are all grief situations. We all go through it. So if we say I get to go through this, I get to keep great notes, because someday someone's going to cross my path who's going to say, I'm really having a bad day. I lost my mom last month and I don't know how to move forward. Yeah. And then I can say, do you want to talk? Yeah. I've walked a journey similar, and maybe there's something that I could help you with. But if I don't embrace my grief journey, if I try to shove it down and never embrace and never acknowledge the hurt, then I don't get to help anybody else with that either. because I've still shoved it in a ball in my gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mike has a pretty awesome comment.